Hi and welcome to the walkthrough for Setlists Pro. When you first open the application, your screen should look similar to this. In the top left hand corner you can see the profile. It says My Profile. Simply tap on that and you can rename it by swiping to the right and then giving it the title you want. In this case, I'm going to call it Magic Routines. Simply click Save and that's going to change it to Magic Routines. Alternatively, you can click on Add New Profile and create a new profile for different aspects or different performance types such as comedy, magic, music, singing, whatever you like. Once you're on there, you'll see that you can create a routine. I'm going to go through the components and show you exactly how that builds the routine. At the top of the screen, you'll see components. If you tap on that, it will show you all of the different components that are available. And if there's any that are missing that you'd like to see in future builds, please reach out and we'll do our best to add them. I'm going to leave them all selected at the moment just to show you the basic layout. It's going to show you all of the different components that build up a routine. If you want to remove these, if say you don't need jokes in there or you don't need webcam details, you can simply uncheck them, and then once you close that, those sections will be missing from the routine layout. Now keep in mind you can completely leave them all enabled and any that you don't fill in won't show up on the export functions or within the actual routines or set lists. But if you want to make the layout tidier, feel free to modify this accordingly, and you can even save that as a preset, so on the next routine that you create it will be exactly the same. I'm going to leave them all enabled for the moment and go through and walk you through a simple routine setup. So in this case, I'm going to call this routine Cut and Restored Rope. And that routine takes about 4 minutes. And I'm going to scroll through. Now you can see here it says props needed. This won't be applicable to everybody, but I'm going to fill it out just to show you exactly what the functionality does. So in this case, I'm going to type in rope. I'm also going to put in brackets per show. Now I'm adding this because a lot of magicians and other performers perform multiple sittings of a show. For example, I'm currently on a P&O cruise at the moment and I have to do the show 3 times. So that just gives me an indication I might need to take 3 ropes for the actual set. You can then actually I'll add the scissors as well. That's important. So I'm going to put in rope scissors like this. And you just simply comma separate them. You can leave it as space between the comma and the new word, or just have the comma and the new word straight after. It doesn't really make any difference. You can add the pattern or script, which is really useful if you want to workshop a routine and become familiar with it. So if you're on a train traveling to the show, you can simply go to each individual routine and refresh your memory on what the pattern or script is going to be like. You can also add jokes and gags. And then we get to the tech team information. This is important if you're working in venues where there's a tech team and they want the information to make your show memorable. So you can give them the information such as webcam details, music details, video, projector details, image or lighting. If you want to do that, you can set that up accordingly. What I'm going to do, I have the video details when I'm performing this, and the video file is called the main background loop.mp4. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that in there. Now I could add even more. Oh, spelled background wrong. There we go, background loop.mp4. We can also add tech information here. So I could say play the main background loop when the magician says, and it basically gives them an indication of what they're doing. But I'm going to leave that blank for now, and I'm simply going to save that routine. So now you're going to see within the routines, we've added cut and restored rope. If I click on that, I'll be able to see the information such as props needed, and we've got rope and rope scissors. So when I come to pack for this particular routine, I can then check off the items as I pack them, and that will give me confidence that I've packed everything. But that's just the beginning. We've added a single routine. The idea is to create a database of all of your routines so that when you come to make a set list, it's very simple to do so. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back to you at the end once I've added them in. Okay, so now I've added a whole bunch of different routines. We can move forward and create a set list. You're going to see at the bottom right hand side, you can click on the tab that says set lists. Then I'm going to simply click on create set list. From here, we can give the set list a name. So in this case, I'm going to call this stage show. Now, if you've got multiple shows that you're performing at a particular venue, you can obviously have like show 1, show 2, show 3, or so on. We're going to give this a venue. As I'm on P&O, I'm going to call this P&O, and then you can give it a date. I'm going to be performing on the 18th, so I will set that to the 18th of May. You can also write some notes in this. This is just for your own personal preference, but you can also export this as well. Now you can see below it says add routines. So what I'm going to do is add some routines for this particular set list. So I'm going to do the basketball prediction, what's good with them, Professor's Nightmare, then let's do the invisible deck. We'll do some close-up magic as well because I've got the overhead camera, so I'm going to add that in. Then the bra gag, a classic. Then we're going to add the glasses trick, 21st Century Phantom, and Snowstorm. And then I think what we'll do is finish it off with the lottery trick. So all I've done is select a whole bunch of different routines there. I'm going to click on Done. Okay, now that's going to list them all in here, and I can see that the total duration at the bottom is 49 minutes, which is good because the show is typically 45 minutes. So I could remove an item or I can speed through it, but it's always good to have an extra routine just in case. So perhaps I want to finish on the snowstorm, which is also a good area to stop, but I'd have the lottery there as a backup if I needed to go a bit further. So I'm going to click on save, and then you're going to see that the set list has now created a set list called Stage Show. It's showing 9 routines, 49 minutes long, P&O, and it's also got the date. Now again, if I click on that, it's going to show me the breakdown of it all, and it says all props needed. Now this is key for me when I'm packing due to go on especially a cruise ship, because as soon as that ship sets sail, there's no getting the props. So yeah, I can look at all of this and I can see all of the props that I need, and as I'm packing I can literally check them off like this as I go through, and then I know I am good to go. Once you're in the set list, you can also click on the top right hand corner and click on export. But before we get to that, I'm going to edit this just to show you, maybe we don't want the bra gag there, we want to do the close-up magic after that. If we press and hold, we can then slide each individual event, each individual routine around to organize the set list as you want. So that's just a little tip there. You can rotate the effects around. You don't have to put them in order. However, this is the order that I like. And actually, in fact, I prefer to start off with Professor's Nightmare, so I'll add that there. And this is basically something that is your own personal preference. So I'm going to save that, and then we're going to go to export. You're going to see the components section again on this. So below you can see a preview of what the export is going to look like. At the moment, you can see that it's got the set list name, Stage Show. We've got the venue details, so the information, got the title, routines, and then I've got the routine, the duration, and the props. Now this might be good if I want to print out the document and know the props that I need for that routine so I can lay them out on the stage. But to be honest, I just use the app now, and when I set up for my show, I can check off as I am doing it. So I'll get rid of the props and I'll get rid of the duration because I don't need those. I don't need the set list info. So now I've got a pretty standard set list, which I can then print out. Very simply, when I export, I click on print out the document, and I can resize that to fill up the whole page. Now, if we want to add the tech info in, I literally click the tech info item at the component and at the bottom there, and you're going to see now that the preview is saying Professor's Nightmare video main background. Then we've got basketball prediction. Then it's got a little tech info there. Turn on the webcam when the magician unravels the paper balls to show the predictions. Invisible deck, it's got highlighted on webcam. Turn on the webcam when the magician puts the pack of playing cards on the table and leave it on, blah, blah, blah. So we've got all of the information here for the technicians, and this is really, really useful for them, and it'll also make your performance stand out. Then obviously once we're there, we can click share as text or share as PDF and save it. So that's essentially the rundown. We've got a very smart method of being able to select exactly what information we want for the set lists, and we can add as much or as little information into the export as we like. So that's a run through of Set Lists Pro. I hope you really enjoy using this application, and I hope it makes your performances stand out from the crowd. Take care.